Okay, this is the electric meter. It's on the west side of the garage. It's below grade, which is a good thing. It's got a slip joint, which reduces the pressure up here. This is a good thing. This box should have been sealed on 3 sides to help prevent moisture infiltration into the house. Now, the main principle is located on the exterior of the house. That's what's required now. It's on the exterior of the house. Our grounding rod has not been buried 8 feet. It's been buried 7 foot 6 inches, 7 foot 8 inches. Okay, got 4 inches sticking up. It's supposed to be buried all the way into the ground. So, that's just what I'm saying. The main neutral is wrapped with white tape. It's supposed to be like that. Now, the main lugs are supposed to have neoprene covers on them. We do not have neoprene covers. These do not require it. The others do not require it. One day they will require it, no doubt. But today, at a minimum, these are supposed to have neoprene. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this box. I get that. But you're supposed to have neoprene covers. The bonding location is not labeled. The bonding location should be labeled inside the main principle. But let's see if we can find it someplace else. So what we found is neither one of these boxes are sealed on 3 sides to help prevent moisture infiltration into the wall. We're missing our neoprene covers. So far we don't have our bonding location labeled. Our grounding rod is not properly labeled. Buried. Moving into the garage, starting with the north cabinet. These are not required to have neoprene covers. It'd be a good idea. Alright. Still not seeing the bonding location. Coming over here, the north panel, these 3 breakers are supposed to be AFCI, and they're not. Okay, then we go to our 220, as long as it's the air conditioning system. It's the top one, the one that's underrated, because the air conditioner wants a 45 amp breaker. But the clothes dryer and the range, the tankless water heater, these should all be GFCI protected. These should be GFCI protected, and they're not. Okay, then these going to the kitchen, pantry, and I can't really read that. Okay, these 3 are supposed to be AFCI protected, and they're not. Okay, we've got white hots coming in. What are you? Water heater tankless, water heater tankless. You got, how many 220s you got to the water heater? That's interesting. GFCI, GFCI. The only 220 GFCI, the only 220 that's allowed not to be GFCI is the air conditioning one, which is underrated. Okay? Then we come over here. Why are you off? Oh, I bet that goes to the kitchen range. It's supposed to be 220. Excuse me, not 220. GFCI protected. It's not GFCI protected. These 3 are supposed to be AFCI protected. Alright? And they're not. These are white hots. If you don't know that's a white hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. Alright? But if you got a white hot, it's supposed to be wrapped with black tape so that any fool can understand that that's a white hot. And again, you don't belong in here, but you don't have the black tape. You don't have the black tape. These wires are not supposed to be in direct contact with the cabinet cover. How about that? Okay? We don't have our bonding location. I already mentioned that. We're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap. Oh, bud, that's new construction. We can't do that. These are people. We're people. We're human beings. All I know is the 16-year-old at Hawk Electric that put the stereo in my car. Okay? It looks like the factory. It looks like it was made that way, molded. And I know that 16-year-old had a lot more on his mind about what he's going to do with his buds or maybe his girlfriend after school on Friday night than a 35-year-old electrician or a sheetrock person. I just know that. Don't tell me that can't be made right, because it can. Okay, anytime these cables come inside here like this, they're supposed to be protected by these little grommets and connectors. Well, we're missing our grommet, our connector right there. Look at there. We don't have one there. We don't have one there. You think that's, you can see where the insulation's rubbing off. Look at that. Insulation's rubbing off right now. It's rubbing against that. It's short out and electrocute everybody. Catch a fire. Huh. Okay. What else we got? Stuff. These cabinets were screwed in. Screws are faster. Screws are tighter. I get that. But if you look at the installation instructions, they think a nail has much more shear strength than a screw. Oh, but, you know, well, if a tornado blows your garage up, I get it. You've already got a bad day. But if these things were nailed in place, ever tried to tear apart a treehouse with lumber? You know, the chances are that, you know, the debris would be, you know, more consolidated. These wouldn't pop out like a pimple and just fly all over. So the first responders got to like step all over them. And so it'd be like that. Then our connectors, okay, because this is our second panel. This is our third panel. Okay, the first panel comes into this one, the cabinet, the disconnect. This one goes into that one. Look at these connectors. You think this is supposed to work like that? I don't. You think fire can get through there? I do. Think you're going to have a problem, you know, when it comes time to sell it? You think somebody's going to be looking at this all crazy and stuff and looking back at you? They are. You're trying to sell your house. They're looking at you because of this. All right? So those weren't done right. Okay, cabinets are screwed in, gap more than 1/8 of an inch, bonding location not labeled. We got white hots. We're missing AFCIs. We're missing GFCIs out the wazoo. Okay, coming along here. We got dust, wood shavings, debris inside the cabinet, paint inside the cabinet. That's a code thing, all right? I didn't make that up. Wires touching the cabinet cover. I didn't make that up, all right? I'll give you the code reference. Speaking of code reference, manufacturer specification supersedes code, but the code and the manufacturer thinks that, see where it says danger right there? That's printing. All right. See all that right there? Events echo. That's printing. See where it says square D? That's printing. This is handwriting. You can't read that. The manufacturer, the code, they say this should be printed. In fact, these boxes even came with a package of labels pre-printed. All they had to do was stick them right there. They're probably at home on their kid's dresser, you know, decorating and on the closet doors and stuff. All right, so he took it home to the kids. Okay, real handy. But no, those are supposed to be printed. That was done wrong. That was supposed to be cleaned out. Those were supposed to be nailed in. These white hots were supposed to have black tape on them. You're supposed to have AFCI, those top 3 breakers right there. You're supposed to have GFCIs on those right there. The bonding location is not labeled.